You lied to me when you said you'd leave our TV screens. You lied to me. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You lied to me when you said you left donuts in catering. You lied to me. You ate them all. You ate them all. The diva is back. Yes, he is. Donut Diva is back. Oh my God. Donut Diva is back. Donuts under attack. Oh! It is the immaculate return that we have all been waiting for. As I was checking the markets last night, I was wondering why the stock price of Dunkin' Donuts was suddenly surging. Since the donut diva Brian Stelter was fired by CNN 2 years ago. Well, Casey, I didn't think he was fired. I thought they mutually parted ways. Yeah, sure. Untalented, unqualified men like Brian Stelter, they don't voluntarily leave jobs. They don't voluntarily walk away from collecting woke welfare. I almost feel bad for Brian Stelter because when he was fired by the Cemetery News Network, he was not qualified to get a job at the usual landing place for deacons at Woke United Methodist when they lose their jobs in the mainstream media. Normally, when someone in the media loses their job, the deacons, they put them on the payroll at Club Shay Shay, where they can work the door as a bouncer or a coat handler. In the case of someone like Donnie Lemon, he shares the stage with the dancing queen Jackie Mahomes, where Jackie performs the foo-foo in his tutu and Donnie shakes his lemons. But the Donut Diva, he was not qualified for work at Club Shay Shay. He doesn't meet the minimum height requirement to work the door, and due to his dedication to body positivity, he obviously exceeds the positivity requirement. He's not qualified to work the stage for obvious reasons. Chris Farley, he could get away with body positivity guy in a little coat, but even the G's and LGBT, they don't want to see Brian Stelter on stage in his bear claw bikini. But that's okay. That's okay. After 2 years of unemployment, after 2 years of struggling for relevance without pay, Brian Stelter, he will once again be paid for irrelevance because he announced last night that he was making his immaculate return to CNN. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. 2 years ago, former president of CNN Chris Licht, better known to friends and family as Chris the Bongo Licker, and not to be confused with the other Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C! 2 years ago, Chris Licht, he laid out his vision for CNN. I want our network to be the place for normal people. I want CNN to be focused on hard news. Ooh, hard news. I am eradicating the woke fungus. We will no longer be a network that provides 24/7 coverage of Donald Trump while tag teaming the cucumber. CNN will return to having journalistic standards, and we will return to being a reliable source for hard news. Now, if you are looking to return CNN to prominence, if you're looking to remove anyone from the payroll with an unhealthy obsession with Donald Trump, or saying bad, one of the first decisions you are going to make is firing Brian Stelter. It was a win-win for CNN. Not only did they eliminate the $1 million in woke welfare that they were paying the Donut Diva every year, they were also able to save 10 times that amount in catering. When the Donut Diva was working at CNN catering, they did not order Dunkin' Donuts by the dozen. They placed their orders by the ton. Yes, we need a ton of glazed wiener and a ton of the supersized bear claw. We need this delivered every 90 minutes. Even though his tenure at CNN ended in huge embarrassing failure, Chris Licht, he at least tried to eradicate the woke fungus. Current CNN president Mark Thompson, he's not eradicating the fungus, he is injecting it back into the network. Last night, Brian Stelter announced that he was returning to CNN. I am so excited. CNN rehired me as a chief media analyst. Increase the size of your screens because I'm back on TV. Thankfully, it doesn't appear that Brian Stelter will be returning to CNN as a host. He used to host a show called Unreliable Sources. Show was canceled a while back because just like everything else at CNN, it wasn't drawing an audience. If we could get that same result with Caitlin Collins, Katie Roo! If we could get that same result with Wolf Blitzer, woof, 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 woof. If CNN would do the same with the Roo and the Woofer, the Titanic might have a chance to survive. But part of me understands the decision to rehire Brian Stelter. When you look at the current lineup at CNN, it's a bunch of anonymous names and a bunch of anonymous faces. Listen to some of these names. Boris Sanchez, Brianna Kyler, Aaron Burnett, The Situation Room with Fido, Andy Cooper, Abby Phillip, Laura Coates. Looking at these names on paper, you don't know if you're looking at the daily schedule for a cable news network or the day shift at Ruby Tuesday. I mean, seriously, Boris Sanchez, Aaron Burkett, Laura Phillip? Who in the hell are these people? So part of me understands why CNN would feel the need to rehire Brian Stelter. In a business driven by stars, CNN, they don't have one. There is not a conversation in this country that starts with, "Did you see what happened on Caitlin Collins last night?" If someone at work mentioned Katie Root in the office, their ass would probably be fired. So, somewhat understandable to bring back Brian Stelter. At least he has some level of mainstream recognition. But here's the problem. When people recognize the bald bull, they immediately change the channel. No one likes this doofus. Before he was fired, ratings for Unreliable Sources, they were in the pooper. And you gotta remember, this was towards the beginning of CNN's ratings decline. 2 years ago, ratings were nowhere near as bad as they are today. If you compared his ratings in 2022 to the abysmal ratings that CNN's drawing today, Brian Stelter, he would barely, I mean barely, make the top 10. He would barely make the top 10 at a network that doesn't have a ratings draw. But that's okay. That's okay. Because this time around, things will be different. According to Brian Stelter, he is not going to be the same insufferable, biased, Trump-obsessed, delusional dipshit that he was during his first stint at CNN. Brian Stelter is claiming to be a change donut diva. He now orders donuts by the dozen instead of by the ton. He also claims to have been paying close attention to the mainstream media over the last 2 years. In his careful study of the media, it has caused him to change perspectives. He moved out of Manhattan and New Woke City and moved to a farm so he could carefully study cow flatulence and its effect on global warming. If you wanted to study flatulence, there was no need to move to a farm. He could have just walked a few blocks to ABC Studios and studied the yentas on The View. They offer a variety of flatulence, mouth farts, boodle breeze. If flatulence gets you going, you can count on the yentas to keep it flowing. But this farm that Brian Stelter moved to, it is located near one of Donald Trump's golf courses. Really? Of all the places you could move, you chose to move next to the Trumper? If I were the Trumper, I would be looking into a restraining order. This obsession that Brian Stelter has, it's starting to get a bit unhealthy. The Donut Diva's first day back at CNN is next Monday. Perhaps we should give him the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps we should temporarily believe that Brian Stelter is a changed diva, but for some reason, I'm having a really hard time biting into this shit sandwich. For starters, if you're really a changed diva, The last place you're going to return to work is CNN. Last year, Brian Stelter hosted a panel at the World Economic Forum. The panel was titled "The Clear and Present Danger of Disinformation." The panel was focused on false advertising. Apparently, Dunkin' Donuts announced that they were giving daily customers a lifetime discount of 10%, but before the discount could be implemented, Dunkin' Donuts raised prices by 10%. The Donut Diva, he committed his time to combating this dangerous misinformation. Another reason that I am struggling to believe in the new and improved Brian Stelter, it's because of something that he said just 3 months ago. Back in June, Rachel Maddow, she pushed this ridiculous theory that Trump would round up the woke army in the media and put them in camps if he was reelected. Now, if Brian Stelter was truly a changed man, if he was committed to the dangers of false information, he would have done the right thing and classified this theory as bullshit. Instead, he did this. Watch for yourself.
We use the words that Trump and his allies have said, and we use them to talk about the future. Jail, of course, is the extreme part of the spectrum. Imprisonment is an extreme part. But think about IRS audits. Think about government pressure on media companies. Think about other forms of government interference. There are a lot of pressure points. And frankly, Rachel Maddow is not the only member of the media thinking about this. I've talked to the heads of news organizations, CEOs of media companies that are thinking through, not in dramatic fashion, not because they're afraid of going to jail, but because they want to know, what could Trump do to use his power in a second term to punish the media?
Maybe I'm a skeptic, but I'm just not buying into the new and improved Brian Stelter. Now, this is pure speculation on my part, but I don't think CNN is done bringing back familiar faces. I mean, they got to do something. Their primetime lineup is sinking faster than the SS Lizzo. Maybe they bring back Donnie Lemon? I mean, I don't think it would be on a permanent basis. I don't think Donnie would return to hosting a primetime show every night, although he couldn't perform any worse than the current huge embarrassing failures hosting shows in primetime at CNN. But I don't know. We'll see. Gonna be interesting to see, though, if Brian Stelter has actually changed. We'll have that answer next Tuesday after the debate. If my sportsbook was taking bets, my money would be on Brian Stelter not changing a damn thing. But what about you? Do you think Brian Stelter has changed? Has he went from clearly biased to unbiased? Has counseling helped him get over his obsession with the Trumper? Also, why do you think CNN brought back Brian Stelter? Is this a sign of desperation from a network that is rapidly sinking? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.